Voices of Hope, heard here on WMPQ 95.9 The Light. Addiction Voices of Hope is presented by Malone University and Quest Recovery and Prevention Services. If you would like to be a sponsor, please go to my website and email at addictionvoicesofhope.com. My guest today is Sean Latham. How are you?
Correct. How are you today? I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Sorry, I took you on a little roller coaster ride to get here today. We're all out of breath. There's a lot of traffic out today, isn't there?
A lot of traffic and a lot of speedy maneuvering. It was pretty nice. Just like Disneyland.
Yeah, well, I'm a New Jersey driver still at heart, so, But let's not talk about our ride here. Let's talk about you and why you are here. You are here, you are an alcoholic, or an alcoholic, and a heroin addict, is that correct?
Just addict in general.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a build-up to it. So.
Okay, let's go back to your earlier years. When did you start drinking?
Drinking really didn't hit me until after my early 20s.
Okay.
I never really experienced. I was pretty well set into school, high school, everything. And when I got out of school and moved out on my own, that's when I started experiencing life on my own terms and started getting into drinking and socializing, which of course that's pretty much where it starts out at it. And pretty much snowballed from there. And just the social atmosphere became just as addictive as anything else, and I wanted to be the center of the party,
right,
so to speak.
Yeah, do you feel that you were hiding, you could be center of that party drinking, but sober, you were just a little bit shy and withdrawn a little bit, or?
Yeah, I grew up kind of introverted, and when taking drinking or otherwise, it would kind of break down those barriers and just kind of let it all hang loose, so to speak. And at that time, it felt like the right thing because I felt accepted and being able to talk to people, things of that nature. But as the years escalated, it switched itself on me, and I became more addicted to the substances and less social.
Oh.
It went vice versa.
Okay.
Hiding and the depths of addiction and alcoholism.
Well, I know that for most of us, when we were drinking, we were the life of the party. That was our way to bring our real inside self out. Like Robin Williams, he was a comedian because his inside was so dark, and that was his way of getting out. And most of us, like yourself as well, that's what we do. We mask, and I don't know. I don't know why we do that, and I don't know what psychological reason there is for that. But did you always use drugs with your alcohol, or?
Yeah. I probably started smoking weed prior to
drinking.
Prior to drinking, and then those kind of two went together, and then you become invincible, as you would think, and so you start embellishing in other things, and that's when it was okay to take a couple Vicodin and drink a beer, and you didn't have any ill effects. And then as the time progresses, the effects became more prominent, and you start getting into trouble, and it really gets out of control. Even if you try to keep it in check,
right? Because
you start living duality. You start living a life where you're hiding everything and you're starting to function. But when that duality line fades, your reality and your substance abuse cross that line, and your life spins out of control. And I've seen that firsthand.
Now, you said you started smoking weed first. There's a big debate out there, I'm sure you've heard, where they want to get weed, marijuana, local, legalized. And they're all saying it's for medical reasons, and we know that that will not always be the case. Now, for medical reasons, I do, okay, I understand it. But out there, what's going to happen is it's going to go into the hands of anybody that wants it. Do you believe that marijuana is a gateway drug? Because you said that was the first thing you started with.
I believe marijuana can have the social effects of opening up doors to people that maybe they shouldn't be opened up to them, because there's a part in people that are addicted. You could be addicted to food, you could be addicted to sex, you could be addicted to work. It goes all the way across the board. So when you open up a door that people are susceptible to that, I don't necessarily agree that that should be the route to be taken. Maybe using the medicinal purposes for marijuana, taking out the chemicals that can be used to help people, but not initially, putting a joint in their face and telling them to smoke it and you're going to be cured. I don't agree with that at all. That's opening up too many doors for people.
Tell me about your relationships that you had during that time.
Well,
were there many?
There were many. Yeah, there were many relationships. I met a lot of people, a lot of friends that were on the same path. They'd drink and they'd smoke, and we'd start bands together. There was a whole lifestyle about it, but unfortunately for me, I didn't grow out of it when everybody else did, and I kind of prolonged that. And as the more I used, the more different substances I would try to get to reach a different high, and it really just like I said, a couple of Vicodin here, a couple of Xanax here, and everything was okay. Yeah, that's fine in my head. But when reality came to it, it was the snowball. It started snowballing and avalanching when you start reaching for that high.
Right. Did you have a lot of girlfriends? Any lengthy ones? And was it toxic?
I wouldn't say toxic, because there's the longest relationship I got my daughter out of, and that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And but there had been toxic relationships due to substance use. Definitely. It's almost like a common ground you find. Instead of trying to find a person, you try to socialize with them first, on that level.
Right.
And that's no grounds to start any kind of relationship.
No, it's not. How about your parents? Were they or are they alcoholics?
There had been yes. My mother, God rest her soul, she had a difficult time with substance abuse, and my father has battled with alcoholism. My mom, she battled for it for a long time, and I've seen everything happen with her, but with the later stages of her life, when she had a stage 4 small cell cancer in her lungs.
Oh, wow.
And she had stopped everything. She quit drinking. She'd quit substance abuse years before, but she had the best times of her life being sober at the end of her life, and it was the most beautiful thing to see at my actual mom.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the brothers came around and saw her and everything. It was a beautiful thing to see that, when someone's got a clear mind and how life really is with them. It was great.
It is. And now that you're sober, how long are you sober for?
9/22/2013 was the last use of substances, and it took me a little bit longer for alcohol. It was after my AOD program, and then I quit that as well.
Okay, so real sobriety.
Real sobriety.
That means no substance whatsoever. That is your real date. What is that date?
My real date would be March 26th.
Okay, that's the date you need to remember.
Okay.
Because you're not sober.
No, you're
right.
right.
So March. So that hasn't been very long at all, actually.
No, not with with the drinking. It did take me a while to not do the cross addiction thing. Well, I'm not doing this, so
right.
I can do this, and it puts you in the same mindset every time. It doesn't matter what substance this is. You go back to that negative self-worth, self-reliance, self that people that do have addiction problems need to get out of. And that's when you start, when you open up and let people know and reach out and get out of yourself, that's when things happen. And that's really what it took me to do. Because every time I would try to, I would start drinking, and it would just slowly take away from the good feeling, the spirituality, and everything that I've ever wanted to be. But the roadblock was always there.
Now, I thought I heard you mention that you were in school when you were using, or is that something new since you've been sober?
No, I've been in school since 2012. I just switched my degree from business management to marketing management.
Nice.
And I've been using when I first started, and it was a slow process. It went from trying to get a 2-year degree, and it's been 3 years now. But now that I have more focus, I can put on a couple more classes and not fill my time with the good things instead of trying to waste it with the old things.
Right. You mentioned you had a daughter. How old is she?
She's 13.
She's 13.
13 years old. Yes, she just had her first kiss the other day.
Oh no, you're in trouble now. Oh my gosh.
I'm praying.
Oh my. How is the relationship between the two of you? Was it always good? Was it bad? Was it give us some.
Well, we've always had a great relationship, but with my last incident with
which we're going to get to in a minute.
Heroin, it really demolished her trust and faith in me for a while. So it's been an onward fight, with that. And right now we're back on terms. We're seeing each other as regularly as we can, and she's opening up and letting me get more involved in her life, and it's through these eyes that I really see her and the beautiful woman that she's growing up to be. And she's 4.0. She's in she plays 3 different percussion instruments in the band. And
nice.
I mean, I really can't say enough about her.
Right.
I mean, we could start a whole other show if you want to, just on her.
That's awesome, because a lot of people lose their relationship with their children during that time.
Yeah, it was on that path.
And it takes a really long time to repair it sometimes, but it can be repaired. And I know that from my own experience. My kids are coming around. They don't want me to know that they're coming around.
Right, it's a tough love.
You're right, but they are coming around. So it is. You can fix them. We're going to be going to a break shortly, and I'd like to find out about your last time using. I've heard this story before. You had told it to someone else, and I was sitting there just in awe of this experience.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark.
Also, I'm going to have tickets to give away in the next half an hour, and get ready with the phone number, because the phone number is 330-492-6881. I am going to give away a pair of tickets today in the next half hour. I will prompt you when to call, and I'll take caller number 5. And these tickets are for Rock and Remembrance. It's 4 pairs of tickets I have. Good for any day, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. There's many bands that will be there, and also you can go to the website, What's Up Ohio, to get full details of all the bands that are playing, so you could kind of see which one you want to go to which day. They've got Josh Hill Band, Blunt Force Trauma, Scenic Route, which is a great local band. Joe Vitale Jr., another awesome band.
You're here for him.
Oh yeah, he has a show here on Saturday evenings. Red Sun Rising, Dixie Soul, that's awesome. So there's quite a few bands. If you'd like to go check out this on the website, it's www.rockandremember.org or www.whatsupohio.com. There are no outside beer, which is a good thing. And so, Sean, before we go to break, which we're going to break, okay. When we come back, we'll talk about the last time you used. Don't forget, 330-492-6881 is the number to call if you have a question for Sean, or hold on and get ready for the tickets we're going to give away. We'll be right back. To Addiction, Voices of Hope, heard here on WNPQ 95.9 The Light. When we left, we were talking with Sean Latham, and he was about to tell us his story about the last time he was using. But first, I want to give away a pair of tickets to Rock and Remember, and it's to honor, remember, and celebrate our heroes. So if you would like a pair of tickets, you can call 330-492-6881. My fifth caller will win these tickets. Or if you have a call and you would like to talk to Sean, also call 492-6881. All right, Sean, let's hear about this. What was the darkest day here that you were using that you could remember here?
Well, the darkest day, well, thank you, Michelle, by the way. The darkest day would have to be basically the last time when I used. I was just outside some time of my last OVI, which was a year prior. It was a Saturday, and I went to go get my license reinstated. Went to the AAA, and they said it would take about a week for them to process there. So in my mind, I thought I could go to the BMV later that week, so I would just give them money then. And that left me with money in my pocket. So I decided to go pick up. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I picked up, went to a car wash stall, used, and proceeded to drive home. Well, the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital with police around me and my family around me. And what had happened was I blacked out, went through a red light all the way down to my house, got into my driveway by the grace of God. I mean, I used to believe in coincidences, now they're God moments, because everything that happened that day was supposed to happen, or I would not be here. Every second. I pulled in the driveway. Luckily, it had started raining, so the kids weren't outside, and my foot came off the clutch, ran through my back fence, and was basically pronounced DOA at that time.
Really?
Yeah, I was non-responsive, and was tried to give him resuscitation, and I don't remember any of this, but waking up, and then I was in the ICU for 2 days after that. That is really, it was such a scene, because we just moved into this place, and the ambulances were outside, and the police, and it was such a spectacle that I made out of everything that it truly was what needed to happen to get me in my path to recovery.
So tell us, do you remember what you were feeling, or you weren't feeling at all?
All black. It was blackness.
After, when you woke up in the hospital, what were your thoughts, your feelings?
When I first woke up, it was confusion, because I didn't know what happened. And then when I got the information, and the police were there, and they administered tests for what substance I was on, it hit me that this is not where I need to be. When I looked out and saw my daughter looking in at me, because she was there, and the words out of her mouth will always ring for me. She told her mom, or asked her mom, was he high or was he drunk? And no 12-year-old, she was 12 at the time, no 12-year-old should ever have to say that, or even wonder about that. And that is really what initiated the whole making myself better.
So what happened after that?
Well, I, of course, proceeded with the police and the court system. I had got.
Did you get another DUI from
It
that?
was, OVI, Operation Vehicle Impaired. And I went to court eventually. That was 11/15 was my court date. Judge Elam, through his infinite wisdom, put me in the AOD program.
What is the AOD program?
That's alcohol and other drugs. which
And that's
is
in the jail?
that is in the jail.
Mhm.
Correct. That program opened my eyes and gave me the tools that I never had before to open up spirituality, open up being true to myself, which I hadn't been true to myself, and I don't even remember.
Mhm.
I don't even remember I didn't even know who myself was.
Mhm.
I know there was an inkling inside at all times, but there's always been a roadblock there that would never push me to my full potential. So being in that program, and what really worked for me was the confrontational therapy. When I told them about my story, they cut through my BS, so to speak, to where I had to be true to myself to other people. So it was, it was a 2-day process. It took 2 days to get me out, and I was like, holy cow, is this what it's really like to, have people call you out on something you've been living a lie for 13 years? And it was really amazing. And the program itself really, if you take it seriously, it can work. It will work. It gives you the tiny tools that, it points you in the direction for, other programs outside of that program as well. You need to do the steps. You need to take control of yourself and learn how to live sober.
Exactly.
And not just abstinence too, because you cannot do drugs or alcohol and still live that same mindset.
You can't.
But once you start living sober, and that's appreciating life around you and reaching out is the biggest thing. Once you know that you're not alone and that you can feel other people's, what they've went through and experienced through them, it's beautiful.
Well, what happened when you got out of jail? Where did you go? And, tell us a little bit what you're doing now.
Well, first day right out of the OD program, I hit the ground running, went right back into school, and initialized a couple classes. I was fortunate enough with my uncle, John Kennewick, to have his support, and he helped me out with the job and helped me kind of get me through a little bit of the rough time to where I can get back on my feet. And it's really been the support of other people that have been the blessing. And
that is very, very important.
And it's building back the trust and the faith in for myself through other people. That's the progress that I'm at right now. So right now is school, and just acquired a new job.
That is awesome.
Yeah, at a nice corporation, and it's the building blocks, just small steps. Just doing the building blocks. You can't, you get out at first. When you get out, you're like, oh, now I can be a drug counselor because I've been sober for 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, life still hits you.
Yes.
So and you taught me that actually.
Yeah.
That was exactly like, whoa, pull back on the reins there, mister.
Yeah. When you get sober, like you said, when you get out or you just get sober, you're like, I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then there's something that does not go your way. And it's probably around the 60-day or so mark, and someone didn't follow your plan.
Right. Right.
And that's what was going on with you. Someone didn't follow your plan, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was that mark, and I had texted you that day.
Yeah.
And what happened that day?
That day, you text me, and I had my hand almost into a cooler grabbing an alcoholic beverage. It's when I first met you through LinkedIn, when I said Providence, there was a connection, and I have to believe that. So.
Well, I am extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
Under the circumstances that you are living, which is not a bad place. I love that place that you live at.
Yeah.
But you have alcohol in that facility in your home. And that's pretty tough to stay away from that when you are at any point in your sobriety, but it's even harder when you just get sober.
Right.
How are you coping? How are you?
It's through routine. I have to fill my time constantly with that, so I don't think about. And actually, it's non-existent there too, because I made that a point. So we did come to a mutual understanding that it not being there and me exercising, you know, living through inspiration. Bruce Lee has been a huge inspiration on me now.
Cool.
And you know, just make yourself like water. You know, that's the saying. You know, you are anything that you put yourself into. So you put yourself into something that's substantial and sustainable. That's what you are. So
and your uncle builds Murphy beds. Is that correct?
Correct.
I saw these. This is incredible, and I you know, it's on my website, or it will be up there on my website. They are a sponsor of this show. What is the name of the company?
It's Murphy Beds by Kennewick Wood Products.
And it's where? Maslin?
Maslin, Ohio. Correct.
And do you have a website?
We don't. We have an eBay site.
Okay.
It's Kennewick's Custom Wood Products.
Okay, because I have seen this furniture. This wall unit, I thought it was a wall unit. I just looked, I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful, handcrafted, right there, made product. And then they're like, well, that's not all. There's a bed. It comes out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, I can't believe it. But anyway, we're out of time. Thank you for listening to Addiction Voices of Hope. Please like us on Facebook. If you would like to be a sponsor of the show, go to my website, addictionvoicesofhope.com, or you can sign up to be a guest. Until next week, love yourself and just stay positive.
Keep on keeping on, just like Bob Dylan said.
Yep, tomorrow's another day. Start over if you need to. Have a great one. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.